So, the reason that I go to Facebook and the reason that I post it on YouTube is so that it's documented. If the police are not going to document it, I will. Being overwhelmed sucks. Going through this much abuse sucks. Having people threaten your life and the police won't do anything sucks. And now they say I can make a report. I need a safe place to be able to do that. Right now, the guy that I'm staying with isn't here, so I'm able to make videos without having to go upstairs and freeze my Royal Rastafarian nenes off. Now, in that 100+ videos is Mandy Hughes and Alyssa Rainwater, both talking about, and also Miss Peaches and Katie Cahill. Many of these people talking about how the police would not take a report from any of us, even if we were in jurisdiction. Same thing with Aaron Cockerham. Same thing with Cara Rogers, aka Cara Mia. Many of these people had their lives threatened. And in those videos, many of them talk about how they are afraid of being targeted or have been targeted. I have screenshots from a lot of people who were targeted. After what Candace Bondurant did and Cara Mia, before they found Joseph Michael Lopez, Natalie's actual killer, yeah, Candace did some really fucked up shit. And I was never allowed to show evidence. I tried showing evidence on Sword and Scale, episodes 109 and 110. Type that up on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever on the internet. It's a webcast. The deal with those guys, a guy named Josh got a hold of me, and he agreed not to release our interview until after Natalie's killer was caught. He agreed that he would turn that over to police. He agreed that he would play it in its entirety. And buried in my Facebook Messenger is the conversations between him and I. In typing that show that Mike Boudet, that Josh was telling me he got in trouble for that. That Mike Boudet had him destroy that evidence. Evidence that was supposed to go to police. And why did I go to them? Because the police wouldn't take it. This isn't even a real, credible news station. And Cara Rogers, and the messages that I have saved on this very computer, shows that she warned me about that guy after I'd already made the interview. Now, after watching these videos, which I doubt you will, because there's over 100 hours that are posted attached to that For Peaches the Liar, and they're in the comments. Over 100 conversations with witnesses, where many of them admit that they were targeted and were afraid of being targeted and were afraid to go to the police. And those phones that I was trying to force the police to take a look at that were stolen because I didn't have a safe environment to work in. I had meltdowns because I was stuck in public being harassed by police everywhere I went because of homelessness, because I was living in my vehicle, because I had to go to Starbucks to use their internet. And many of the conversations in there, they show that Alex Furman was afraid for his family, which is why he never came forward. And he's not the only one. There were a lot of people who let me know, hey, Sean, I would love to come forward, but I'm scared for my family. Mandy Hughes let me know that she was afraid not of me, but of Ted Bollinger. She saw Ted Bollinger twice in the grocery store. I can't do anything to stop that. I can't go to Colorado without my life being put in jeopardy. And there are too many lives at stake, not just mine. And it's not just Alex Furman who's afraid. Kinga Nichols as well. Kinga Nichols is from Hungary. She's afraid of getting deported if she speaks up. But because I no longer have those phones, I can't prove that. There is a lot that I can prove, however, like Andrew Witcher raping his wife, Amy Witcher, and her letting me know about him molesting his daughter. Her daughter, I'm sorry. And her cocaine addiction and his meth addiction. They agreed to help me in exchange for watching their children. But it ended up being me watching their children a lot and them never keeping their word because they wanted to get fucked up on drugs. That's not true. Andrew wanted to get fucked up on drugs. Amy was going to work. There was a couple of times that I babysat for them because Amy was trying to work things out with Andrew. But most of the time that I babysat, it's because Amy was at work and Andrew wanted to go get fucked up on drugs. Is that my fault? I needed their help. I've gone to the police for help. I've gone to mental health places across the country for help, to get an advocate, to get a safe environment where I don't have to worry about these predators coming after me. Those who are trying to help me, that defended me on these Facebook groups. Hey, get out of there. That's not your food. They were targeted, and the FBI needs to look at that. Now, these people who are pissed off at me for recording our conversations, I wouldn't have had to do that if the police at any point in time had tried to investigate any of it. But the police in this very town did everything in their power to prevent their own wrongdoing from being shown. They're obviously not going to investigate any of the other stuff that's going on. And police in Colorado did the same thing. Officer Burke in Longmont, after the bullshit that they pulled in Broomfield, he never should have had access to me again. Officer Waylon Lolatai, after what he did in Denver, he never should have had access to me to begin with. After what Jordan Anderson did before Natalie died, he never should have been allowed access to me. After what Cody Selhorst did, he never should have been allowed access to me. After what Amanda Jonas did, she never should have had access to me. Now, there's a conversation between me and Mandy Hughes on this computer, and another one with Amanda Jonas that shows that either Mandy Hughes lied or Amanda Jonas lied. They tell two very conflicting stories. The number of people who are afraid to come forward because they were afraid of the Bollingers, and the number of people who are afraid to come forward because they were afraid of the police. Nobody should have to go through that. You shouldn't have to be afraid to come forward with the truth because a drug dealer and a child molester will come after you. You shouldn't have to be afraid to come forward with the truth because the police fucked up. You shouldn't have to break the law to try to force the FBI to do their goddamn jobs. These people not doing their jobs didn't just put me at risk, it didn't just put me in harm's way, it actually harmed me. I was harmed because I came out in public about what was going on. Police in multiple jurisdictions in multiple states did everything in their power to prevent evidence from being shown in court, including lying to mental health professionals. And you know what? A lot of that evidence that was in those phones, I can't get back. And that's part of the reason for recording these conversations. These 100 plus conversations that are just on this YouTube alone attached to that one post, that one YouTube video, Four Peaches the Liar. The 100 plus conversations that are attached to that, that's just a fraction of the ones that I recorded. They don't include all of the screenshots. They don't include the ones where I took my camera and I held it for 15 minutes at a time to go through the conversations between myself and Matty Boa, and myself and the people that I went to for help, like Joanna Taylor Smith. Now, some private investigator claimed that Joanna Taylor Smith doesn't exist. She's a fake person. So are you saying that I've been messaging with this fake Joanna Taylor Smith person who doesn't exist since before Natalie was killed? Since before I went to Virginia? That phone that I was trying to turn into police in every jurisdiction that I was in until it was lost. That's literally why I was chasing down Officer Hahn. I needed that phone back. I needed him to look at that evidence, the conversations between myself and these other people. How afraid Mandy Hughes was. How fucked up people's internets were getting because of hackers. Hackers who specifically go after child molesters. I'm not a child molester. These hackers do this because they hate child molesters. So do I. Do you know what it's like to have a hospital staff member stick his dick in your asshole? You think that's an enjoyable fucking experience? But when you try to tell on an authority figure, you get the mentally ill treatment. They can get away with it because you're the one who's mentally ill. They can get away with raping your children after CPS takes them. These foster parents can get away with raping your children after CPS not only steals your children and gives them to these predators, but also pays these predators for taking them. Meanwhile, These CPS people are taking your children because you can't afford them, because you're jumping through hoops. Wouldn't it make more sense to help these parents out? If you can pay somebody $1,200 a month per foster child, you can give that very same money, because it obviously does exist. You can give that very same money to these parents so they can pay their fucking bills, so they can go to these classes that you're requiring them to jump through. When Christopher Weaver had his daughter taken away from him because he fucked up, he really did. He was drunk in public with his daughter, and that is not okay. But he got sober after that. For 3 months, he didn't touch alcohol. He lost his job because of all of the appointments he had to go to. At least 3 a week to comply with just one part of the court orders, and an additional 2 of them to comply with court proceedings. That's 5 a week that he's having to go to. And he's having to pay for all of these things. He's having to call in every day and find out if he has to take a pee test. He lost his job because he couldn't keep his job. He could not go to all of these appointments that are conflicting with his work. He has to call off work to go to these things over one fuck up. One fuck up because he was extremely stressed about a fucked up situation that he was in, that he needed help with. Ogre is not a bad dude. I was there with him and his daughter. He is a great fucking dad, god damn it! Give him his fucking daughter back! I've been speaking out about this for over 30 years. The first time I was molested was in Boulder, Colorado, or in Boulder County, Colorado. The first time that I was molested in an institution was in Boulder County, Colorado. Or, my apologies, I believe it was in Denver. That's why volume needs to be allowed in these places. Fuck privacy. If that privacy allows people to abuse their power and rape little kids and abuse inmates in jails and in hospitals, then fuck privacy. You're not doing it for my protection. You are doing it for the protection of the predators, so that the people who own these facilities don't get sued. I take this public for a reason. And you can see it's a goddamn popularity contest. It has nothing to do with right and wrong. It has nothing to do with what the law books say. It has to do with popularity. These people were allowed to do these things before Natalie died because Natalie lied and it was a popularity issue. She's pretty, I'm not. I post up a selfie, I get 18 likes. She posts up a selfie a day, or 2 or 3, and gets at least 100 likes on every one of them. It's a goddamn popularity contest. And pretty means more than the truth. Gender means more than the truth. Your position of authority means more than the truth. These people who are pissed off about me posting their shit on Facebook and on YouTube, they could have gone in with me to talk to the cops. If your dumbass had done that, I wouldn't have had to break the law. I wouldn't have had to travel all over the country to alcoholics and meth heads' houses. I would not have had to post screenshots. I would not have had to record those conversations. You were afraid before, too afraid to come forward. You told me that you would, but you didn't. Now you want to be pissed off because I post the truth. And you want to hate me for that. That's fine. I still love you. But I need to get back to saving lives, including my own. And right now, I really want Alicia Bollinger's life to be saved. Jesus obviously isn't doing a goddamn thing to help her. Where is Jesus? Where is the Jesus that she loves so much right now? Alicia Bollinger needs your help. Scott DeCosta. By investigating this bullshit here in Chapel, Nebraska. Yes, you can help to expose what's been going on. You can help to get Alicia Bollinger safe. When she went missing 3 different times, I did everything I fucking could from where I was at to try to get her safe. When Brandon Ratner's brother disappeared, I did what I could to try to get him safe. I used to be able to help out in person. There are half a dozen people that I personally know that are dead because I couldn't help them. I couldn't get to them to help them. Half a dozen bodies that exist because police wouldn't do their jobs. And I'm not allowed to be pissed off. How would you feel if your loved ones were dead because you couldn't do a damn thing because you were busy being railroaded with no money and no roof over your head? How would you feel about that? Dead people, sir. After Natalie died, I was informed that there were at least 5 homeless people in the Denver area who were killed for looking like me. Put that in fucking perspective. Am I right to be fucking afraid or am I paranoid?